Huh?
Ed, wake up. We're doing a show.
Oh, okay.
Ah, jeez.
Whoa, that was a nice deep sleep there. I think I had some REM sleep.
Yeah, I know. I think I was overserved last night, and that's why I'm napping on the job. How about you? Actually, you were right beside me till quite late at night.
I remember trying to steal your booze.
Steal my booze?
I grabbing your glass and you'd say, where did it go?
Well, so I'd order another one, wouldn't I?
And another one.
And another one. Well, what were we
and another one bites the dust.
Another one.
I think we're drinking cold sake.
Yes, that's right. Cold Wakataki Demon Slayer sake.
Oh, chop!
Ed, what happened at Khiron today? Or, I mean, rather, sorry, Khiron. We spoke to Khiron. We're going to talk.
You've got Khiron on your brain because you're doing a lot of work for them right now.
Well, I have Matt Murphy from Khiron is going to be here in a few minutes. We're going to talk to him.
Oh, good.
And but what happened to what I meant to say was what happened to Cronos?
Well,
what is going on?
Yeah, what is going on? What is going on?
Okay,
so Cronos is down 25% today. So now that 25% was recently put on. Like, in other words, it's not like it's been sitting at a static price. I'm going to, yeah, there you go.
Look at that.
Yeah, and if you put up the Bollingers.
Oh, wait a sec. First, we're going to look at just this general chart. I'm going to bring it down.
Sure.
Let's look at 1 month, because this is where.
But you know, another thing that chartists will often say, or technical guys, is that gaps get filled. And you had a gap. You had a gap here. You got a gap here. Look at there's a big gap, and it came down there. It sort of almost filled it, and then But these moves are so like every day. It's different. I don't know what the.
Well, this stock has doubled.
Look at this. Look at this.
This stock has doubled, Ed, in less than 2 weeks. So on August 15th, this stock closed at $7.48 a share. The highest day that it's ever traded was Tuesday this week, and it traded to 17.
This is the Toronto quote. Yeah, I was just talking to Suzanne, and she was telling me it hit 50. I said, no, it's right. But I was looking at the U.S. chart.
Right.
So in the U.S., obviously, knock off 25% for conversion, right? Well, but look at this thing. Look at.
I know.
You're so right. $8 here, and it looked like. But you see, the part of the beauty of technical is when you identify a breakout, and if you just would have drew a line in here and said, okay, if it closes above this line, and it did here, it tried to back off, couldn't, and then, I mean, you could make a fortune.
Well, you would have lost it today. You would have given half of it back.
Buyer beware, should have sold it yesterday. Why wouldn't you sell it?
Well, that's good advice. So do we know what the nature of the legal?
Well, it's to do with disclosure, I believe. And okay, here we go. Let's just.
Okay.
Trading halt. Trading halt. Resumption.
Press release here from. There's no press release here from the company. Let's see on CDAR here.
Yeah, I saw some things. I'm going to try and find it myself. You know, we got.
There's a press release today. 39. M3F4U. Okay. Well, you know, we've got Mike Gornstein coming in next week.
Really?
Yeah, he's here on Tuesdays.
Are you sure he's going to be coming in?
Well, I would think he would embrace the chance
he'd want to. Okay.
So the last press release, though, there's been no word from Cronos.
Well, I saw. Okay, I got something here on Stockwatch.
The National Enquirer of Financial Markets.
Well, you know what? But it does provide reasonably consistent data.
Yeah.
Okay. Just a minute. There we go. Here we go.
What are you seeing, Edward?
Close all, cancel, okay.
Tell you what, while you're doing that, I'm going to bring up the...
yeah, why don't you...
Let's look at Cronos in the U.S. See how it did there. CRON. Oops, no active session. Just a moment here. Let's get real. Cronos, here we go. August 29th. Oh, let's look at the chart. Oof, look at that. Do you want to put the Bollinger Bands on this, Ed? Is that what you're telling me?
5. Just let me get.
All right.
I can't do more than
one thing at a time.
6 things at a time.
Hey, wait. Can I ask you another question while you're doing that?
Sure. Yeah.
What is 7 plus 2?
Nuff.
What is 9 minus 1?
9 minus 1. Weeds.
I'm trying to shorten the attention. Right.
And how did he get to the wheat? You got to kick him in the where the sun don't shine.
I'm not sure that's the only time that...
You can add and subtract in French.
Okay, Ed. I think we just did a fantastic job of butchering that joke for the audience.
Well, you did. I just...
No, let's
You're the main man, so I listen to what you ask me. That's all there is to it.
No, Ed, you got to stop me sometimes. Sometimes I'm out of control, especially after I've been drinking with my my good friend Ed Milewski till the cows came home. Till we got turfed out of the bar.
Did you get turfed out?
No, I didn't get turfed out. I escorted myself out as usual in relatively dignified fashion, I would like to think.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a good time was had by all, though. Quite a night, quite a night. Anyway, so the Cronos has obviously got a problem that we're going to hear about.
Right, right.
We don't know the nature of the problem. You're saying
just a minute. Just a minute. We're almost there.
Are you're going to?
I'm going to give you. I'm going to elucidate.
You're going to go to the court of public opinion.
Here we go. Here we go. 1165 down 470 now. Only down 28%.
What do you think?
What's your problem?
I know. So the whole index though is down. The whole large cap index is down 1.1%. Yeah,
I don't see any. You know what's funny? I thought I saw news earlier, and now I don't see the news.
Look at Canopy's down 6%. ACB's down 4%. So if of all the days to come out with a bad news, this was a good one for Cronos because they're only down. Well, they're down 27%, so they're down the highest among all cannabis companies in the large cap group. But let's see what's going on in some of the other indices here. Let's look at the small cap.
And you know what? Yesterday, we said it. If we didn't say it once, we said it 6 times. We said these RSIs are getting overdone, and you can say whatever reason you want to give, but the fact is they did correct today, didn't they?
Yep, and as they always will.
And they always will. Yeah.
So, you know, remember that we were talking about, people said, well, where's this end? And it was about, I think, Friday or Thursday that I said, look, this thing's going to emulate the pattern in trading that it exhibited in January when Constellation first took down 10% of Canopy. So now I'm going to pull up the technical chart here. And
Afria might be, look at it, it's only down 47 cents. That's only the 3%. As I see it go by the screen here.
Okay, now here's weed. Okay, so let's look at 6 months. Oh no, we have to go back a year to get to January. Okay, so look what happened in here.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm going to, let's see, there's a way to draw on this thing, but this is not it. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. Bear with us here. We're just having a little difficulty. We have to go to Charts Advanced. And now we can go to the settings. And now we can draw an ellipse. Okay, so we want the ellipse not to be... Well, I guess today we're going to make the ellipse red, aren't we?
Yes, we are.
Does that make sense to you?
Red. Red being signifying a down day.
Red is all about blood. And there's blood in the street. There's my silly phone going off. Okay, so now...
No, that's not your silly phone. It's my silly phone.
What? Your silly phone's doing the same thing? Oops, that is...
Must be a group call or something.
That is not what we wanted.
Yeah, that's it. There you go.
That is not... You know, I made a mistake. I put a fill in it. We don't want a fill. We just want a circle. Okay, so now we can say here. Let's move this over. This is the period of time that we're talking about. Come on.
And the other thing I'll point out to the viewers, no, somebody's desperately calling me.
Okay, well let's get your phone out of here. You know. Okay, so anyways, there's look at all the loops I'm drawing. Loop-de-loop-de-loop-de-loop. Let's go remove
Loop-de-loop?
Loop-de-loop.
Hey.
Here, let's try that again. Okay.
Yeah.
Here's the section we're talking about. Back here in January, the press release came out that Canopy Growth had received 10% investment from Constellation Brands. The stock took off. It's actually, this started back here, didn't it? No. When was that announcement? Let's go look at that. Boy, I'm really confusing ourselves here. So let's go look at weed. Let's see when that announcement was made.
This is the first time, like this has been now 4 days of, we've been stalled out here. That sort of the market may have reached a bit of a zenith.
Okay.
This phone, you know what?
Turn that off.
I don't know what
Can
they
you hand
want.
your phone to Suzanne, please, Ed?
Here. Jeepers creepers, what's going on?
Okay, so on Wednesday,
Here.
January 17th.
If it rings and just see it, maybe it's really important, just find out, just say. Okay.
Okay, back to our show.
Anyway, you
Ed's
know
got
what?
a moment to do a show now.
Yeah.
Canopy Growth announced $175 million bought deal financing Wednesday, January 17th. They had closed a $26 million private placement on January 10th. But the big news was actually, let's go one more back. Da 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 da.
Da 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 da.
Nope, I went the wrong way. Let's go back.
Yeah, how do you know which way I'm going?
We're going backwards now. Okay, so let's see. Previously announced bought deal, $200 million. So then they announced on February 7th that it was raised to $200 million. But where did they first announce the deal with? Okay, so they announced the bought deal on February 7th. And let's go back again.
Right.
Where is the Niagara College? I think it's around here because I remember it.
Yeah.
Licensed production, canopy growing, the supply agreement. Where's the date?
You know, I don't even know what we're doing right now. I'm still a little,
You know.
I'm a little,
Okay, let's go canopy growth constellation 10%. Hopefully that'll bring it directly to us.
yep. Wonderful.
News. What's this? Firefox has got me on Yahoo. Okay, well this project is not working out here, so whatever.
All right, moving
My
right along.
point being that
Moving
back
right
in
along.
January there were a series of catalysts
Right.
driven primarily by the bought deal that Canopy Growth did with BMO, as close to the same time they announced the first 10% participation by Constellation Brands. The stock took off in a most northerly trajectory right down in here, which was, hello, where's our chart? Chart.
I've lost your computer.
Oh, boy. Okay, so this is a case, if anybody's considering buying a new tech system for making web video, don't do it. It doesn't work. It's a piece of crap. Here we are once again defeated by new tech's garbage hardware.
Okay.
Am I making my point here?
Tilray.
Anybody from New Tech want to come and fix their crappy, bodgy, full of bugs system? Feel free.
Yeah,
We'll be very happy
well,
about that.
I'm going to go to my page
Let's
here.
see if can we see Ed's computer on here?
Charts, news, portfolio.
Boy, oh boy. Okay, let's just cut straight to the Justin B. Marshall video, please.
Let's do that. Nice day for Khiron. Tilray getting pounded. Weeds, they're all a lot of red today. Guess we've already said that a couple times.
Hello, James, Ed, Plato, and all our fans around the world. Today we have the opportunity of visiting with Ryan. Ryan's an organic cannabis farmer here in Carmel Valley, California. Ryan, you have a beautiful thing going on here. These plants are monstrous and they're so healthy looking. You're able to do great things with genetics and organic farming, and yet you're able to keep it all contained so there's no mess. You're ecologically doing this right in these small Appalachian grows. Can you tell us a little bit about some of these strains you're growing?
Certainly, Justin. So over the past 4 years or so, I've been doing some breeding in another location, and basically I've been crossing a Pink Lotus strain, which was from Bodhi Seeds, crossed with a Hashberry, which was then crossed with the Sunset Sherbet. That's what probably 50% of this farm is here. And then there's some other, there's a lemon diesel crossed with the Sunset Sherbet that I've been working on, and Girl Scout cookie crossed with the Big Sur Holy by Fire OG.
That's great. Now, Fire OG and Big Sur Holy are two of my favorite strains. As I used Fire OG to beat cancer, because Fire OG is a strain that helps fight colon cancer, I fell in love with it. And I'm glad to see you're growing it. Let's talk about your yields. What are you expecting per plant? I mean, some of these look like perhaps 5-pound plants.
Yeah, certainly. So we have about, there's some 45-gallon pots. My average yield on some of those are going to be between probably 3/4 of a pound to 1.5 pounds, possibly 2. There's 100-gallon smart pots. My yield should be between 2 and 3 pounds per plant on those, and my 300-gallon smart pots should yield somewhere between 3, 6, 7 pounds, hopefully. But you know, I'm looking at probably a 4-pound average for the entire farm.
Great news. And let's talk about soil. What are you using for soil here? Is it something you're able to compost yourself, or are you bringing it in?
I brought it in. It's been every few years we bring it back in and just re-amend it. So I'm on year 3 with this soil, and yeah, we just re-amend it every year, turn it, and give it a go again.
Great. And then how about teas? Are you making your own tea?
On occasion, yes, we do. Up here we have an off-grid situation, so we don't have power, so it's a little bit more difficult to make those things happen, but you know, once a week we do, yes. Great.
Let's talk about, as one of my goals is trying to incorporate small farms like this into the big cannabis world. I see that some of our friends up in Canada, like Aurora and Canopy Growth, have massive facilities, and they're doing huge things on a global level. Yet guys like us are doing much smaller things here in Carmel Valley, and we would love to get this into the large-scale cannabis world. In branding, the way I see it is in these Appalachian grows, like this one here, which is at about 3,000 foot elevation on a north-facing slope, where you're able to utilize the microclimate in this area, and you're able to avoid mold, pests, all kinds of things up here. It seems to be working very well for you. Carmel Valley is known for being a Pinot Noir and a Chardonnay grape wine growing region. And so apparently this is also excellent for many strains of cannabis. Do you find this to be so?
Absolutely, Justin. You know, the first part of your statement about the big corporate farms and whatnot, you know, I think what's going to separate us, the small family farms, is just these crafted plants like this and the strain and the appellation that we're in. Nothing grows like it out here. And I think, like fine wine, that eventually the industry is going to look at cannabis like that, and not huge, large-scale operations. Like this farm in particular is watered by hand every day, you know, by myself and one other person. So I think people are going to realize that big difference.
Great. Well, let's hope for that. Let's also talk about some of the mistakes that you're seeing right now in the cannabis industry, mistakes that are being made on a state level, even a local growing level. You want to enlighten us a bit?
Yeah, certainly. Well, I think the ordinances, when Prop 64 passed, and then our county made their own ordinances to basically get all the families out of the hills growing and basically put everybody in a box in the Salinas Valley. That was just a huge mistake, in my opinion. I think a lot of big money interests came in there. They didn't foresee all the problems that like people like us that live out here would already know, you know? So,
yes.
So you know, for instance, being in a huge ag field and your neighbors are spraying God knows what on their ag crops, and that getting in, and the contaminated soil that could be there from, you know, overuse and whatnot. You know, I've just heard a lot of horror stories about the facilities out there and mold and pesticides and whatnot.
Well, I'm seeing that too, where if you grow next to a strawberry field, you're going to get the overspray, the contamination from your neighbors.
Yep.
And if people aren't using a closed system with 15 micron filters to keep all outside contaminants out, then this will continue to be a problem.
Yep.
Let's talk about, what are your hopes and dreams for the future, Ryan, as a cannabis farmer?
I would love to see, a vast majority of people start to appreciate family handcrafted cannabis, and certain appellations like this. I would love to see the government get their hand out of the cookie jar per se and lower taxes on everybody to make it a business that we can actually thrive in, because the way things have rolled out so far, it's making it very difficult for the average mom and pop farm to compete, versus companies with $1 million in the bank and throwing into these mega farms.
Right, right. I agree with you 100%. So in order to keep small cannabis farmers like yourself and myself involved in this, I think it's going to take co-ops. I think it's going to take all of us working together with the big cannabis companies, small farmers, big farmers, and everyone in between, working together and keeping a very solid lid on what is allowed and what is not allowed. For example, certain pesticides will be banned.
Absolutely.
And as you're an organic farmer too,
yes,
this is a beautiful opportunity for us to see this beautiful farm. A couple other questions I had for you. Why do you choose these specific strains? I know some people are using OGs because they want that gas. Some people are leading towards fruit to appease the connoisseurs and aficionados, but you seem to be having a bit of both.
Yes, I want to just do something different and rare. And over the years, I've been slowly crossing them and getting the strains acclimated to exactly where this farm is. And so that takes time. And my thought is I would rather not grow what what the name brand is of the day or whatever. I want something very distinct that people are going to, ask for, and distinguish myself from other brands or strains and whatnot.
Very nice. Exciting. Another question I had for you, Ryan, is as you're able to grow these plants to about 12 feet tall, 11 feet tall, and have these giant buds that are about the size of Coke cans, and yet you're able, are you also processing these? Are you turning them into oil at any time? Or are you just making the flour?
Right now we're just going to be, making the flour. We'll just the county ordinances and all that stuff, just the bureaucracy of the oil, getting into the oils and all that stuff is just over my head for the time being, you know what I mean? So
yeah.
Down the road possibly, but I don't have that in my future right now. No, I'm just keeping it simple with flour.
Great. Great. One other question I wanted to throw at you is, I've been learning a lot about counterfeit oils and counterfeit products coming on the market. For example, you could buy 100 grams of cannabis oil from China for $1 a gram right now. And as that stuff has been tested by local people because they were concerned, they found out that it's full of lead and full of all kinds of contaminants that no one would want in their body. So this is an interesting time to try and keep the black market out. And I think that in order to keep the black market out of cannabis, we are going to have to lower these taxes, or else it's going to be impossible to compete.
Yeah, absolutely. Part of the whole track and trace and having everything tested, I'm a firm believer in that because, unfortunately, there are bad actors out there that use pesticides and just all these awful things for the environment. Me, myself, and the community that I'm in are completely anti that. So, we don't want to poison people, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's where regulation comes into place.
Right, right.
And
Now,
testing.
Let's talk about this appellation growing. Because of the Big Sur Farmers Association, we had the opportunity to speak with Oliver Bates last week, and we were kind of discussing the fact that in the near future, we can do large-scale outdoor grows here in Monterey County. And as you're going to be doing this, this must be a very exciting time for you, where you can increase this farm into a large-scale grow.
Yes, that's exciting developments. Everything is still in the works right now, so hopefully that works in our favor. But it would be my dream to be able to enter this market and not look over my shoulder, you know what I mean, and be able to make a living and support my family. I couldn't ask for any better job,
Yeah, man.
ever. So it makes me very excited, and that's why I'm pushing to, get these laws changed and the ordinance changed so they can work with us. Great.
If we could work together with the law enforcement, with the county and the state, the federal, and then all the other cannabis companies, and work together to make this a system that's going to work, it's going to be beautiful. But there's
Absolutely.
Potential for it not working because of the high taxes and the organized crime that might be out there putting stuff under the black market.
Yes, sir.
Well, Ryan, this has been a very enlightening conversation. Would you be so kind as to take us on a little tour of your farm? Show us some of these beautiful plants you have growing?
I would love to.
Great. Let's take a walk, guys.
Let's see. So here again we have a pink lotus crossed with hashberry,
Genetics are
crossed
beautiful.
with a sunset sherbet.
And behind you?
That is the same.
Same. Wow.
Very distinct strain.
And what about this giant tree over here?
This is a Girl Scout cookie crossed with the Big Sur Holy, crossed with Fire OG.
Nice. Oh, so strong. And that's about 10 feet tall, I'd say. And how about this beauty right here?
That
This is
right
the
there would
pink
be
lotus?
the same as this one, yes, the Lotus Hashberry Sherbet Cross.
Wow, look at that purple color. I don't know if you guys can see this, but there's a beautiful purple veins growing through all the leaves on this plant. I think that's going to add quite nice to the end product.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be very lots of aromas going on there. Purple hues, I'd imagine.
Yeah.
Some pinks as well.
Right,
From
right.
the Lotus.
And the terpene profile, I'm sure, is just going to continue to expand
Oh,
and
yeah.
build daily.
Berry, lots of strong berry comes out.
Yeah. This would be fun to do for a cannabis tasting episode. Tasting all these organics.
Absolutely, yeah. I cannot wait till harvest.
Yeah, no doubt. Wow, and how far into the flowering time are we now?
Oh shoot, I think we're about
3 or 4 weeks? Or
about 3 weeks, yeah.
3 weeks? So perhaps another 4 weeks until harvest on this?
Yes, sir.
Wow, wow. They're just forming so beautifully, and the
Yes.
smell is incredible.
Thank you.
Beautiful. All the little pink hairs on the buds are just gorgeous.
Yes, that's the Pink Lotus side of things on the cross.
Pink Lotus, what a beautiful strain. Now this one looks like it's getting a little closer to harvest.
Yes, sir. If I had to guess, yeah, probably 3 weeks or something like that. This is a Sunset Sherbet Hashberry cross with Pink Lotus.
Sunset Sherbet Hashberry Pink Lotus.
Yes,
what a
sir.
nice combination.
Thank you.
Wow, that hashberry is a difficult strain to grow, I found.
Yes, for some reason it, luckily, it thrives out here, so I kind of lucked out on that one.
Wow. And that beauty behind you, that's about an 8-foot tall plant.
Yes, here we have a Pink Lotus and Blue Skittles as well.
And because this is in a 300-gallon container, it's just much bigger. The roots have a lot of growth.
Yes, you know, more dirt, bigger plant. You know, as you see, there's some 45 gallons, 100 gallons, and 300s, and as you can see, it makes a difference definitely in the roots and size of the plant.
Ryan, we want to thank you very much for your hospitality today. Thank you for sharing your insight and knowledge on the industry with us. We made you a couple of gifts. This is a infused Kush olive oil.
Oh, excellent.
Here's some CBD dog treats for your pets.
Dogs will love them.
And here's a herbs de California, herbs de Provence mixed with Kush. You could sprinkle that on your chicken and it tastes dynamite.
Excellent. And I'll be using these items tonight. And thank you guys for coming.
Thank you, Ryan. Thank you very much. James, Ed, and all our friends and fans around the world, we'll see you on the next episode.
Smoke weed every day.
Here we are, back again.
Back. Justin's really quite the go-getter down there,
Yeah,
isn't he?
yeah, absolutely.
Let's see the cat in the video there?
Yeah.
That was a pot cat.
Is that from Kathmandu?
No, that's a pot cat. A weed kitty. Could you imagine cats being high?
Well, if you're sort of a cool cat, you'd think that you'd get high once in a while, would you?
I don't think animals like to get high.
No.
I don't think so. I don't think it's good
No.
for them.
Well, you know what? Cats like catnip.
Cats like catnip. That's a good point. That's a narcotic of choice for cats everywhere.
Yeah.
And they don't seem to have too much of a problem with it. It doesn't cause overdose deaths,
No.
though they do some weird things.
Catnap. Is it catnap or catnip?
Catnip is what the cat eats to get high. Catnap is when you have a nap, like a cat
After you
does.
do the catnip?
No, I don't think the cats
what's
nap
it called?
after catnip. Cats don't nap after catnip because they're high. So when they do catnip, that's the last thing they do is nap.
Yeah, they want to stay awake and
Well,
enjoy
they
the
start
high.
playing. They play.
You know, we should talk about. A friend of mine reminded me that we should look at what's going on in Newfoundland with the fellow that made a fortune in the Yukon, Sean Ryan.
You're making reference to Sean Ryan.
Yeah,
yes.
yeah. Sean Ryan,
the legendary prospect.
You know, he's put money in, and apparently the stock's moving.
What's the symbol, Ed? Let's just cut straight to the chase. What is the symbol?
I don't know.
You don't know?
I don't know.
Oh my gosh. Text.
It's. Should I text him?
No.
How about I call him?
No.
And just say, what's the symbol?
What, in the middle of the show? Do you guys mind if Ed makes a phone call? I don't mind. Do you mind? No, we don't mind.
We don't
Why
mind.
don't you go make a phone call?
Okay,
Ed?
I'll make a quick call. Should I do it right from here? Or
And I'll try to keep everybody entertained with a little technical analysis, except our NDI isn't working.
Yeah, but where's my phone?
Where's your phone? The NDI's not working. Where's my phone? Who's on first?
Where's my phone?
He gave it to Suzanne.
Did I give it to you? What are you laughing at? Why is everybody laughing? Am I the brunt of a joke here? Where's my phone?
You know what they say? If you're looking around and you're in a gambling situation and you don't know who the mark is, you know what that means?
You're the merc.
You're the mark. It's the same
You got
thing
my
in
phone?
comedy.
How did you get it?
I picked your pocket.
You picked my pocket. And,
Oh, boy.
and the
Anyways.
lovely Suzanne just brought me my phone. I knew I didn't have it.
Can you open that door, Suzanne?
Okay. What is the
Hey,
symbol?
Alex, is there? Can you see NDI on me?
Hang on. It's extremely blurry.
It's extremely blurry.
Well, I lost it.
Okay.
I just had it.
Okay. Well.
I have Ed's computer.
Oh, you do? Okay, I'm going to borrow your computer, Ed.
It has facial recognition.
What's the symbol?
Dismiss the lock screen to sign in. What the hell's going on here? Couldn't recognize.
Is that the one that
It has facial recognition.
great?
Turn that bullshit off, please.
Is that the Sean Ryan one?
Great Bear. That Great Bear.
What's the symbol for Sean's? LAD, lad.
LAD. So I know what everybody.
Lab,
right.
Thank you very much. Gotta go. LAB.
And I'm sure everybody's wondering why on such a bountiful day in the cannabis space we're talking about mining again. Well, you want to know why? The reason why?
Yeah, because we have a hard time not minding our own business.
We don't mind our own business. No, because we're stout Canadians, and as stout Canadians, we take chances in the mining space because we love to lose money. Only one in every 2,000 mining deals ever actually finds a mine. Then somehow we think we're smart enough to find that needle in the haystack. So, in an attempt to look at needles in the haystack, we are talking today about Labrador gold.
Lab.
Lab is a symbol on the TSX venture, and it is run by Sean Ryan. Now, if you don't know that name, Sean Ryan is the somewhat famous prospector and former mushroom picker, I would add. Little known fact about Sean. Who was the discoverer of 2 mines that were acquired by majors in the Yukon. So this is not saying that he's going to hit 3 for 3. He's not going to necessarily do the hat trick. But the chances of somebody who's already found 2 mines finding another one are much higher than a guy who's never found a mine. Even we're smart enough to figure that out, right, Ed? Like, pretty much.
I'm not so sure.
Not so sure. Okay, well, maybe we're not. Maybe we need to
you know what? You know what? There's an expression. The assets don't know who owns them.
The assets?
Yeah, well, in a mining company,
Is that where,
your asset is your ore body. The asset doesn't know who owns it. So
Is that where the expression comes from? You don't know your ass from a hole in the ground? Or is that asset? Oh, sorry, I meant asset. You don't know your asset from a hole in the ground.
Asset's on the chair.
Right. Your asset.
So you know what? I get it. You know, you want to follow a guy that's had success. I mean,
so Sean is now he's prospecting in
Labrador.
And he thinks he's found something.
He thinks he's found something.
So Sean is famous for doing the most comprehensive soil sampling programs in the history of mining.
Yeah, he drilled where the soils were.
Exactly.
If there's gold in the soil.
That's one of his techniques.
Yeah.
And so we know it's worked twice before, and he's trying to replicate his success for a 3rd time now in Labrador. Don't forget, Labrador is home to the Voisey's Bay mine, one of the richest nickel mines ever discovered on the planet. That is now owned. That was the subject of quite a number of fierce takeover.
Can't trust going by here up 54 cents. There's one bucking the trend.
There's a tangent for you. From mining to CanTrust back to mining. Anyways, see, that's what's so entertaining.
That's why we're here.
You'll
But
never see that
Wow.
on traditional media. People tend to stick to the script. We will never do that. We promise. And it might be a little confusing, we know, but we hope you enjoy it. Anyways, we're also wondering what the audience, you, the audience, thinks is an appropriate length of time for us to do our show. Some have said 90 minutes is too much.
Right.
Others complain that 90 minutes is not enough. Some say
we may get some responses here that we don't really
care for.
care for.
Well, I'll just delete them.
Okay.
We'll just pretend they aren't there. Ed, what's going on with your computer? I can't sign in.
Well, that's because.
It needs
Hello?
to look at your face.
Hello.
You have to say hello to it.
Yeah.
You sure?
I don't know
weird.
what's going on.
What's going on is the question of the day.
Yeah, you know what? I'm taking this computer with me on the weekend. It's new to me,
Yeah.
and I got to own this computer.
Anyways, Labrador is doing a financing right now, aren't they?
No, they've just finished one.
They just closed a
They
financing?
closed the financing.
But where's our sub-agreements? Isn't that why Jimmy Doyle's been calling us?
He's been calling me. He wanted me to put money in, but I told him I ran out of money.
Oh boy, I'm kind of out of my
Edward
own money
Milewski.
right now too.
Okay, sign in, please.
Fully.
So why?
committed.
Your PIN is no longer available due to a change in security settings. You can set up your sign-in options.
Yeah, you're having a little chat with the computer there, are you? So we can't bring you charts today because of the NDI, New Tech system keeps dropping the NDI. We don't know why. Maybe it's New Tech's fault, maybe it's not. I tend to think it is likely that it is. However, I could very well be wrong, as I often am. So we're going to follow Labrador Gold, and we're going to have Sean Ryan in for an interview soon. And then we can decide whether we want to buy the stock or not.
Okay.
We'll take a look at the symbol. Now you got it?
I got it, yeah.
Okay.
Which one, LAB?
Yeah, put up LAB
Okay,
in the chart.
let's see if we can't,
Let's see if Ed's new computer is going to
let's see.
deliver a positive experience to you, the viewer, at home or wherever you're watching from.
LAB.
Labrador, 25 cents.
Is
Volume, 252. What?
Is it
Doesn't
lab,
make sense.
lab what? Lab hyphen,
No, lab, just LAB.
enter.
Oh, Suzanne,
No.
could you grab that phone and turn it off, the ringer, please?
I think it's LAB something.
LAB.
I get LeBranche and Company.
LAB. Let me see your computer here. Oh, okay. Well, what? You didn't get your font size up. Let's go F lab :CA. You know what? This is a Microsoft product, isn't it?
Yeah.
I don't like that.
You don't like Microsoft?
No.
Why not?
Because it's, I don't know, it's just problematic. There's no, I can't pull up the symbol. I can't even see the symbol because it's so tiny. Did we find a way to up the fonts? I guess we
Yeah, we did.
did. We did, but what happened?
Well,
We lost it?
yeah.
Or are we losing it, Ed? Anyways,
I'm losing it.
Here's a chart for a Labrador
Oh, really?
trading at 25 cents. But it says volume is only 252, which I don't think that's working. So maybe it's just a ghost in the machine. What the hell? Oh my gosh. I think there's ghost in the machine-itis around here today.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're having technical difficulties here. Part of the problem is this New Tech device doesn't seem to be working
you say-
properly. How do you like my Scottish accent?
I love it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You tosser. Ed, you tosser. Anyways, should we be drinking scotch while we're talking in a Scottish accent?
Labrador. Here we go. I got it.
Labrador?
I got it. Yeah.
All right. Is that it up on the...
Yes.
Look at that. You did that, Ed.
Yes. Okay, well, look at, here we go. Okay.
Now let's see. Can you draw on it?
Let's see if I can't,
Uh-oh.
so,
Oh, look at that.
look at that. Now there's a trend.
Whoa,
That
Ed
trend-
has got it. Technical analysis will never be the same. Ed Milewski is here. A round of applause.
Wait a minute. This is my official,
Wait, come here. Stop. No,
Yeah.
come on. Boy, oh boy.
oh,
Okay,
please,
Ed.
please stop. Just saying.
Okay,
Just
now,
saying.
Now walk us through
We could
the
name
chart
a
here.
Okay, let's.
Now we got some technical analysis capability.
When you say
Let's see
walk
if we
through
know
the
what you-
chart, should I be walking through the chart?
No, Ed. Come
No.
on, Bollinger Bands, RSI.
Okay. So
volume,
look, we had a little breakout
shoulder, head,
here, breakout
wedge
here.
pattern.
The financing was just concluded, I believe, somewhere in here.
Yes.
And
25
you know what?
center, huh?
Another thing, we could get James Doyle on the show at some point too, maybe.
Jimmy Doyle, call him up right now.
I just tried.
Just kidding.
No, but okay.
Well, that's great. So you can do the technical
watch
analysis
this.
now, and I get to bark orders at you. Bring up a weed chart, Ed.
And then-
no, let's talk about mining.
Okay,
No, let's go
and
to
then
life sciences.
There's a channel there.
Would you like some pancakes?
And now,
Pass the syrup, will ya?
volume is almost non-existent. But what I'd like to
that's
know,
you're talking
what
back
I'd
to
like to
April.
know, here, you know what? I didn't like the way I drew that line, so I'm going to get rid of it. See?
Yeah, look at you go.
Wow.
Oh, you're deadly now.
Whoa.
See, now, did I find you a good computer, Ed?
Microsoft product.
Well, that's why the font is so small
Okay,
that
so-
you can't see it.
You know, the two things you know for certain,
What's that?
that you know that you're always here and it's always now.
Wow!
I know. It sounds simple.
That's just genius.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'm
Thank you. Wait a minute.
flummoxed.
Wait a minute.
I'm flummoxed. Another round of applause for Ed. No, stop. No, go away. No.
We should have some.
Cameras in the control room?
Not cameras, but sound effects.
No, I think we should have
Clap.
sound effects.
Yeah, come on, like
a round of applause?
like Kramer.
An applause button. Like Kramer. Like Jim Kramer? Okay, let us know in the comments section if we should be goofballs like Jim Kramer with his sound effects board. I mean, I have nothing but the utmost respect for the man and what he's done with his career path, but to me, that's just a little bit too goofy for what we're trying to do.
I hear you.
But maybe that's our audience. You know, I've got a lot of...
You know what? This is probably one. I mean, look, if Six found some gold in Labrador
Yes.
or whatever, and you know we've seen the activity. If we get a discovery, this thing's going to rock, right?
Going to rock.
Our buddy Jimmy Doyle, he's convinced that they got something monstrous. And you know what? Like you say, you can't argue with Sean Ryan's track records. Anyway, we just brought this up today for the first time.
Yeah.
What are you thinking? What are you thinking?
Well, you know what I'm thinking? I'm seeing we've got Lawrence Daly here on our site saying we need to start a private company and then go public at Justin. He's basically trying to hijack our man down south and take him into public company world without us. I don't think we like that.
Well, let's,
Now,
hey, let's,
Mr.
where's
Lawrence
the?
Daly, we appreciate your following our show, but we're already talking to Justin about a go public transaction. However, if you'd like to participate and you're an accredited investor, you should probably call the company that we roll out down the road.
The Justin that we talked to is not related to Justin Bieber, in case anybody wants to know.
Justin Bieber?
Little rat face.
Justin Bieber. You know he peed on his adoring fans from a balcony on high? What does that say about the
Well, he's trying to, you know, pass his scent around, I think.
He's marking his turf, is he? And I can just imagine the little fans, oh my God, I got peed on by Justin Bieber, oh my God, like, they're probably loving it. Like,
Hey, you know what?
What?
This is an X-rated show, so let's just keep it.
What? He peed on the public from on high.
Yeah, but what's that called?
That's called, I don't know. What do you got? What's he got something for me here, don't you?
Yeah, I got something
do
coming.
you
I
got?
think the letters GS come into mind.
Oh, Ed, now this is a G-rated program. Really, did you
That's
have
why.
to go there? So you've just dragged the whole level of this broadcast down into the gutter. Like, why would you do that? I'm talking
didn't
about
mean
being
to.
urinated on by Justin Bieber, and you're talking about a golden
Justin
shower.
Beaver? His
Justin
name's
Bieber.
not Beaver.
It's not? Why did you have teeth like this then? No? What? It's
You know
not?
what? You know what? You do that again, I'm going to go get you a cob of corn.
I don't want a cob of corn. I want a poplar tree.
Okay.
Maybe.
Well, let's take a look. Let's take a look here. I've got the hang of this now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to erase this. Am I? Yeah, there we go. There we go. Now, I think I'm going to go put up another chart here. I want to take a real good look at. Okay, wait a minute. There we go. Now I want to go over here. There we go. And
Boy,
CRON,
suspense is
right?
killing me
I know
here.
it's just. Soft. Okay, there's our Cronos. Now, you know, I gotta draw, watch this.
All right, let's see it. Here goes Eddie with the charts again. He's a one-man hand with the pick in his hand. He's a one-ball man, and he's off to the rodeo.
There we go.
Move.
You see that's very suggestive of, you know, something's gone wrong. But I did see
something's gone wrong.
So, well, look at this thing.
More sellers than buyers? No.
Close to 30% decline today. Come on.
What happened? What happened?
There's news out there somewhere.
There's
something's rotten in Denmark.
Something is rotten in Denmark. Now, is the stock halted or is it still trading?
It's trading.
Okay, so it can't be that serious. It's just a.
Look at this, 78 million shares.
Ooh, that's a big.
You know, you get these things. Oh, by the way, just jumping around here, but I noticed the XRO has got.
Pull it up on your chart.
Yeah.
Let's have a look at the.
Well, you know what? I mean,
so wait, before we go anywhere, Ed,
yeah.
are you saying that is like a terminal event that is going to continue to the downside in the days ahead?
You know what?
Do you think it's a one-off overselling panic reaction and it's going to regain some?
They say that there's never just one cockroach. Like there's something like there's.
We're talking about pesticides and.
There's press releases with major law firms in the States talking about class action against this company. That I saw that somewhere today.
Against Cronos?
Yes.
Oh, that would not be nice.
No, but
one of my
obviously,
companies on the planet.
Yeah, well, if it is,
whoa,
so, you know, I don't know. Something's wrong. I mean, look at Afria's down what 3%. Big deal. This is down almost 30%.
Ah, my computer's working again, so I can steal NDI from you. We can go on my computer, but I'm enjoying watching you with your new toy.
Watching me, watching you.
Now, is this screen big enough for you, Ed? I see you squinting at the screen a bit. Because you know what, this comes in an option with a bigger screen, and I didn't even occur to me
to get
the bigger screen, because I thought you'd be more interested in something compact since you travel so much.
This is fine. This is fine.
Well, if you want, I'm saying we can just take this and swap it out for a bigger screen. They won't have a problem with that.
Look at this pennant.
Okay, looks like, can't that thing, whoa.
Look at that. You see that pennant? You know what? That almost looks like a big rock on a seesaw or something.
Or or a
well, but you see, you know what? You saw highs and lows getting, you know, they compress.
That's why we got you this thing, so you didn't have to get up there anymore.
Well, I know, but I kind of like getting up there because my foot was asleep.
Okay, well, whatever floats your boat. What's with the circle? What's that supposed to mean? Like, come on, you're technical analysis Ed now.
It looks like it's like a catapult that's getting ready for a. But all I'm saying is the thing. There was a wedge pattern, a pennant, and it broke to the upside. And you know, all you had to do is if you trust your system, when it breaks the pattern, like we had a line there, loosely a line there. It broke the pattern. You go long. And even if you got out now, you'd still make a couple of bucks. But then remember we were talking about the RSIs. Look at how outside the band here. See that?
Yeah.
And resolution here to the downside. Anyway, I like these technical indicators because what else is there to go by?
Okay, let's look at wheat now. I want to see if wheat. Okay. So wheat is showing the same wedge pattern.
Let's take a look. I want
your take on that because it didn't drop catastrophically today, obviously.
Okay, so now we want to go to weed. I'm getting the hang of this.
I love it.
But we'll do it in the U.S., okay? Is that okay?
If you like, if you prefer.
Well, that way, because I know how to get it up in the U.S.
Okay.
I know how to.
TRST closing strong. AWC's even up there at 80 cents now.
Well, look. So here's the. Let me just click on this.
Wow.
Okay. Now you got. Yeah, that you see that there was definitely sort of a double top there, and it looked like it failed, but then this bottom here held here. It was another test, and that was the next day when they announced the Constellation thing. I mean, you can't handicap this stuff, but the thing started to move, and all you had to do was buy it right there.
Well, that would have made you a genius.
But you had the news out. The news was out when that happened. You know how we originally thought maybe that this was a silly deal? But then upon further examination and we vetted it.
Canopy?
Yeah.
Well, Canopy, without doubt, without any comparison, without any peer in its group, is so far ahead of everybody else in the space in terms of evolution and corporate partners that I gotta think that Cam and Terry over at Aurora have got something cooking to bring them back closer.
Oh, I see. In other words,
so this, this is the thing.
I'm gonna take my ball and go home if I can't play, right?
No, it's a case of
what's
Terry's saying to Cam, come up with something brilliant so we can surpass Canopy. And Cam's saying, that's your job, Terry. My job is to look great on James's show and make us very popular with
what's the ticker
fans.
for is it ACB?
ACB. You know what you can do here, actually? You can put both
No, that's
of them.
not it.
Yeah.
No, I got it. It's ABC hyphen CA?
ACB.
Or not hyphen, but colon.
I don't know. Your system is working differently than mine. ACB, okay. You know what?
Shift colon CA.
See, I put ACB in and it goes there. Okay, let's pull up
Okay, here we go. You know, I got to tell you, like, so we just looked at a couple charts where we saw clear evidence of a major breakout. But now, are these? Is somebody not looking at this company to be involved with the same level like weed? And we saw Cronos had a big move, and Afria had a big move. But I don't see the big move here. Like I see.
Well, that's because Aurora hasn't got that deal yet. And everybody's expecting Aurora to get that deal. I suspect that's where the buying interest is coming from. The selling that was characterized by at the end there, that was the MedRelief deal coming out. The selling back here was the Canamed deal coming out.
But I want to just tell the viewers that, don't get too hung up on, like for instance here, it looks like it broke a line. The line I drew is arbitrary. It is what it is. This is just a guide.
Whoa, soft. It is what it is. Can we just detour for a small definition of that, please?
Well,
does it is what it is mean it is what it is?
After the day goes by, you reflect on what happened, and you can say, well, it is what it is.
The night is darkest before the dawn.
As it must follow. The night follows the day, follows the night, follows the day.
A rising tide lifts all boats.
Neither a borrower nor lender be.
Don't take any wooden nickels.
Yeah.
Boy, we're cracking ourselves up.
Okay,
so what do you say? ACB is a buy over Canopy? Like, what are you going to do now?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, you know what?
Well, what are you here for? You're supposed to know. Come on.
Yeah, I don't want to talk myself out of a position here. Well, guess what, Ed? Here's your papers. Beat it. And leave the computer.
Ed, do me a favor. If you don't know, pretend you do. Okay. Because that's what everybody else in the industry, in the business does.
You know what? I was thinking, you know how Johnny Carson was an amazing host, late night host.
Heroes.
Remember he had that episode with the big hat called Karnak, and I think we should have a little in tribute to the big Johnny Carson, the famous Johnny Carson. We should have a little Karnak and predict what stocks are going to move tomorrow. What do you think?
That's what we're doing.
Oh, okay.
That's what we're trying to figure out.
This one doesn't look as like it's hasn't grabbed the investor community like some of the others for some reason.
Well, that is a misleading statement because here's the thing: Aurora has almost 1 billion shares out.
Right.
So for it to move from $6 to $9 is to add pretty much the same value. Cronos, the dark side of the cannabis.
That was James Doyle just sent us.
Oh, Jimmy Doyle, thank you for that.
Jimmy, that's what I call.
Pull it up on your screen. Let's see. This is the Cronos news.
That's what I call thinking on your feet.
See, this is what I love about being a direct-to internet broadcast in real time is that we can actually communicate with our audience. They send us things. Open that document, Ed. I want to see it. I got to see it. I got to see it. What happened? What happened?
Well, did he send it to me?
Yeah, it's on your screen. It was definitely a Microsoft window.
Okay.
You know how to open your mail yet?
No. No.
Okay, well, let's assume that he sent it to me too.
Okay, here we go.
And then we'll figure out how to open. Whoa! Look
Here
at
it
this.
is. Here it is.
Oh,
I got it.
I got it too. Look at that. Mine's already open. How about that?
Full disclosure is important. Okay.
Oh, this is from Citron. Uh-oh. Citron
Target
has
price.
a hot hand in
You know what they got the target price on here? Look at this.
$3.50. I see that. Citron has a hot hand in cannabis lately. First Aurora, ACB, and then in the last 2 weeks, our trading calls played out to 70% returns. One long and one short, respectively. Tilray and CVSI. Interesting. I didn't know they shorted CVSI. I really got to read more of this Andrew Left. You know who Andrew Left is? He was the guy who called bullshit on Valiant Pharmaceuticals,
Wow.
who was caught, fudging the system to demonstrate revenue that did not actually exist. Okay, so Cronos Group announced provincial supply. Cronos refers to the size of the market. How they have a supply. They may argue that U.S. listed stocks are subject to stricter regulation, so companies are more careful with what they disclose, but both Canopy Growth and Tilray are much more forthright. Yeah, okay, that's probably a fair statement. I'm going to say that, boy, it's pretty dangerous to go after these cannabis companies like this. But the thing about Andrew Left is he's been pretty right quite often.
Look at this. This is what you want to look at. These are the 6 big companies, and these are their last quarter by revenue.
Yeah. Yeah,
That's
3 million. Okay,
so
but look at revenue. Put Tilray. Well, 13 million.
Yeah, we saw that yesterday.
Yeah. Okay. So
we got some good ones here, but what they're saying here is that, hey guys, maybe
that's
the value.
Misleading though. It's these companies are not trading at valuations in the billions based on today's revenue.
But we saw how Tilray responded to its results. The stock was up $10 the next day because of that big jump from right. So if your revenues aren't moving, why would you get the big jump? That's all I'm saying. And I'm not saying they're right or wrong. I'm just saying.
Well, you could write this. I mean, apart from the section about liberal press releases, you could write that about any cannabis company in the space, except maybe Canopy and Aurora, and a few others, and it would be you'd cause the stock to fall out of bed. This guy's got a lot of strokes, so he puts out a report. People just sell the stock just in case he's right, because you can always buy it back later.
Yeah.
And so that's the dangerous thing about these short reports. Now, in Andrew Left's case, it's interesting because he's been at this for a long time.
And where is he based out of?
I think he's in San Diego, if I'm not mistaken.
Right.
But let's see, maybe it says here. So anyways, we'll have to do some homework on this.
Yeah, well, I'm going to read this in a little more. We just saw it.
Yeah, look at this. What's he saying here? The company applied approximately $0.5 million for R&D initiatives associated with plant and process productivity. Okay. The company applied approximately January bought deal. Only gets better. All right. Well, I think that there's going to be a short squeeze here pretty quick, because those guys have some stroke and they have some connections, and I wouldn't be surprised if Andrew Left and his merry band actually get left at the altar, though they're probably covering right now. Wouldn't you say, if it's going to 350? He puts 350 and then he covers at 6.
Boy, he's pretty. He says, "What are you getting when you buy Cronos? Nothing more than fluff and distribution agreements." That's what he's saying. I'm not saying anything.
Right.
All we're doing here is trying to account for why is that stock down 30%. So,
yeah. Well, now we know why, because Citron Research put out a very, very damaging report. Whether it's true or not, we are going to figure that out, but we're also going to try to get Andrew Left on the phone and see if he'll talk to us, or whether he's gotten too big for the little people. Anyways, Fascinating development in the cannabis space. Let's see what else is going on with our big indexes here. Oops, that's not what I wanted to see. I don't want to see that. I want to see.
Wow.
Okay, so everything's red today. Everything's down.
No, you know what? Trust wasn't down.
So let's take a look at that.
I noticed. I noted that just a minute ago. TRST.
Okay, Trust bucking the trend, up 7%, 1030. That's interesting. Let's pull up their chart. Ooh, look at that, Ed. Okay, so this company's been on a roll. It hasn't had much of a correction since it caught fire back here. After the day that, actually that was right after the product rollout.
How do I get back to that chart with the?
You want me to figure it out for you?
Yeah, figure something out.
Alt Tab will cycle you through Windows.
How did you do that?
Alt Tab will cycle you through all your windows that you have open. In Apple, it's Command Tab.
Okay,
Boy,
so let's
tech support.
I wanna punch up TRST.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to roll that one just because we haven't had a chance to run it by compliance.
Which
Oh,
one?
they said yes? Oh, okay. Tell you what, while you're looking for that, Ed, we're going to talk to Matt Murphy from Khiron Life Sciences.
Beautiful.
Matt Murphy, eh? Does he know a thing or two about the
Wow.
compliance business?
Fast too.
Yeah. So bad. It was so interesting that we decided not to share it with you quite yet. Why?
Because we want to watch it a few times.
That's right. If there's anything valuable to be gleaned there, we'll let you know. Or when we fix our bloody new tech system, we'll come back to you and show it to you. Anyways, so technical difficulties are apparently the story of our lives. Let's go talk to the people on the site here. I'm going to log into the YouTube channel here, or actually just to the front of Facebook.com, or I mean MidasLetter.com, Facebook.com. Look, and there we are. All right, Karim Hamir says, what is going on over there? Yes, what is going on over here exactly, Karim? We do not know what's going on.
Yeah, what's going on?
All we know is that our NDI new tech thingy, the Bobby, is not working the way it was supposed to. But anyways, we'll try to, keep it going here. We got another 15 minutes. We're going to come back to Matt Murphy in just a few minutes as soon as we get that sorted out in the control room, theoretically, assuming that they're able to. All right, what's this? Inside the Trump administration's secret war on weed. The Marijuana Policy Coordination Committee wants to counteract positive marijuana messages and identify problems with state. Whoa, what's this? What? Sneaky One. Sneaky One is providing us some intel on inside the Trump administration. That's interesting. We'll have to look into that. Thank you very much for that.
What if they came out and said we're not going to make it legal? I guess, but they got so many people that want it to be legal, right, in the States as well.
What, you mean the puritanical hypocrites?
Yeah.
The puritanical, let that sink in for a sec. The puritanical hypocrites who want to tell you what you can and can't do with your life, your body. I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say that is counter to everything that I believe in.
Sure.
Well,
they control they control everything, so they want to control everything.
Well, they do if you let them.
Yeah, that's true.
They do if you let them. It's easy to not let them. Let's see. Namaste is also up today according to Waiting and Weed. Let's pull up a Namaste chart there, Ed, while we're waiting for that video.
Well, I've got the.
Any thoughts about Pure? Yeah, Pure is spending a lot of money on promotion. That's my thoughts about Pure. Let's see how it performs once the promotion is over. There's a BuzzFeed article about that. Oh, really? BuzzFeed. Germany needs more weed and asks the Netherlands for support. Are you kidding me? That's from Let's Do This, a viewer who goes by the handle Let's Do This. Interesting.
What is it, N for Namaste?
N, yes, the letter N.
And what's the...
Mr. Lou, 1990, one of our more regular
he's
people, says, okay, we can't have a phone on the set, Ed. You know that, don't you?
Yeah.
It's just Reefer Al joint. Dirtback cleaned out a lot of little guys. Okay. Lawsuit is BS. Whoa, I'm reading backwards here. Citron research. Oh, we put it up. Now we're sharing Citron researches. No, I don't. Actually, you know what I'm going to do is I'm just going to actually, how do I remove that? We don't actually want to share other people's research that is going to harm a company when we aren't unable to verify its veracity. So whoever put up the Midas Letter Citron research report on the chat in the YouTube channel, please reverse that. We do not want that. That is bad. That is a lawsuit waiting to happen.
Is it?
And we don't. Absolutely. If you distribute somebody else's research without their permission, subscription-based research, it is equivalent to theft in the publishing business. So that's one thing. Secondly, if somebody downloads that from our site, goes shorts Cronos and gets their ass handed to them, in other words, loses money, they now have the ability in the United States to sue us as well as Citron, because they're going to say, well, I downloaded it at Midas Letter, but Citron Research wrote it. So if this guy acts on that, this is what's dangerous. I mean, it's tougher on the short side. You never see short cases really go to court. All the company can do is sue the writer, cease and desist, but the damage is already done. You put out a short report. I mean, a lot of companies have been destroyed by shorts that were, not necessarily healthy, but were not in as bad shape as the short report categorizes it. And that's where there's a sort of breakdown in regulation, where they don't come after these guys who destroy companies willfully for their own profit and at everybody else's expense. But then when you look at companies like Tesla, and you've got Elon Musk tweeting that he's going to take the company private at this price with financing assured, which is essentially as classic a case of distributing misleading statements as I've ever seen. That's where you see that's where we got a breakdown. That's where shorts actually help. When you're calling a short on a company that's doing that stuff, the shorts are right. Management has an issue, credibility issue. If your CEO has a credibility issue, your company has an issue, because you're always going to get hung up on credibility at some point in the timeline. All right, going back to our YouTube channel, let's see, our Midas Letter page. Go to Midas, you can watch all our videos on MidasLetter.com, and you can actually just scroll down and put symbols in the box and basically pull up the same things we're looking at, except in the case of, it says sign into chat. That's why I can't do it. Let's see, did we get rid of that? Oh, yes, we did. Thank you very much. Okay, so what else is going on, Ed? How about that Matt Murphy clip? Has that been sorted out yet in there?
2 minutes.
2 minutes, 2 minutes. Okay, here's the treat for you today. We're going to roll.
Where does Matt live?
Matt lives in Bogota, Colombia.
Really?
Yeah, he's the Director of Compliance, Vice President of Compliance for Khiron Life Sciences, KHRN, on the TSX venture.
Right.
Now, Khiron has been a client of ours, and we've been to their site, we've made videos for them, and now Vicente Fox is in the city meeting with investors and media. Why is he not on our show? Well, we don't think that Khiron values us as highly as they should. They don't realize that we actually get more visitors than BNN and CBC combined. Yes, that's right. Did you know we have over 1.5 million views of our video every month? Just on YouTube, and the double again on Facebook. and that our
It's hard to believe.
our videos are shared thousands of times. These things go far and wide. We have way bigger distribution than BNN right now, I'm telling you.
No kidding.
I'm serious. Way bigger.
Yeah, well, I don't watch BNN anymore.
Well, let's leave BNN alone. Okay, so here's Matt Murphy finally to tell us about the compliance issues in the cannabis space in the United States and Colombia. Hey, welcome back. My guest in this segment is Matt Murphy. He's the VP of Compliance for Khiron Life Sciences Corp, trading on the TSX Venture under the symbol KHRN. Matt, welcome back to the show.
Thanks, Jim. It's a pleasure to be here.
Matt, give us an update. What's happening down there in Colombia?
It's evolving really quickly. At the cultivation site in Doima, we're continuing to expand our operations. We're also, as I'm sure you're aware of, purchased some clinics that we're going to be utilizing to expand our product line. Mm-hmm. And I think that's scheduled for first quarter 2019, but don't hold me to that.
Sure.
Should be earlier.
Right.
So yeah, we're moving forward at a rapid pace. Here today, former President of Mexico, Vicente Fox, is in town. He's a Khiron board member,
right?
And he's meeting with investors, and we had some investor meetings yesterday, and he's meeting with others today. And we did some media, and having him on the board should play well for our expansion into Mexico after legalization occurs there. So, yeah, we're really excited. It's an exciting time for Khiron. Lots of things happening and evolving quickly.
Sure. So you're the VP of Compliance, but it's not compliance with securities laws, is it?
No. Regulatory compliance as it pertains to our cultivation site, as it pertains to the security and record keeping that the government of Colombia requires us to undertake, and we're mandated to undertake by the law. And in my background of being a compliance expert with the DEA for many years. So what we're doing in Khiron is we are taking the DEA regulations and we're utilizing them to regulate cannabis in Colombia. So the same regulations that the pharma companies in the U.S. are mandated to adhere to, we're taking to the cannabis space in Colombia with Khiron. And the feeling is that DEA regulations are the most stringent in the world as it pertains to regulating pharmaceuticals, controlled substances. And if it's good enough for controlled substances and pharma companies, it should work well with the cannabis space. Right. Interesting. So does that imply then that the rules are much more stringent in Colombia than they are in Canada? I'm not so concerned about what country has more stringent rules, but I know the regulations in the U.S. for controlled substances are very stringent. So if we task Khiron, which I am doing, to uphold the regulations that are utilized in the U.S., then it doesn't matter if the regulations in Canada, Colombia, Mexico, Argentina, we will be 3 levels above whatever the rules that we have to adhere to mandate. Okay, and do you view that as a crucial issue for international expansion? Absolutely, because as we expand, our goal would be, of course, when prohibition ends in the U.S., the Controlled Substances Act and the Code of Federal Regulations should be the same regulations that are mandated for cannabis when we have consistent regulatory standards. Right now, as you know, every state regulates cannabis differently, but in the U.S., C2 through 5 controlled substances are regulated with consistent standards. If you're in Boston or if you're in LA, it's the same standards. So they're regulated federally? Right. By the FDA? Well, the DEA for controlled substances, FDA for non-controlled substances. I see. So those regulations will apply to the cannabis industry. It's my feeling, my belief, that when cannabis is descheduled, those same regulations will apply to cannabis federally. Same regulations that apply to C2 through 5 controlled substances. Right now, cannabis is a C1, but when it's a C2 or C3, the same standard should apply. Sure. So taking Khiron internationally, we take these same standards and now we're providing consistent regulatory standards to our operations, whether we operate in Mexico, Colombia, Argentina, Brazil, Peru, or the U.S.
Right.
So.
Interesting. Is there a added cost to such a high level of compliance?
Not an added cost. I mean, compliance, effective compliance is not cheap because with compliance comes security, and there have to be certain security mandates that are upheld as well. You know, when you're dealing with a controlled substance, you have to make sure it's secured through the supply chain from seed to sale.
Yep.
So it is. I mean, as it pertains to, I mean, being expensive is kind of a relative term.
Yep.
In this industry, compliance is paramount to be a successful company and to be effective and to work within the guidelines, the regulatory standards that country mandates. So it comes at a cost, but it's not prohibitive.
Right. Interesting. So if you were formerly the head of pharmaceutical investigations for the Drug Enforcement Administration.
I was.
And so you've got this broad scope on the pharmaceutical industry. Do you see anything in the pharmaceutical sort of approach towards cannabis that has you worried at all, or do you think it's going to be a relatively effortless, smooth integration once Big Pharma moves into the space?
You know, if I was a betting person, I would bet that the pharma industry is already planning its foray into the cannabis space. They're there already in some instances, right? They're not going to sit by and lose profits because people would rather take cannabis as a medicine rather than an opioid, for example, or any other kind of medicine. So I think that, like we've seen in the liquor industry with Constellation, right? We'll see the same in a big way with pharma when prohibition ends in the U.S. because I don't think they're willing to jump in if it's not legal federally. But when it is legal federally, medicinal cannabis at least, you'll see the big pharma companies jump in it. And I would bet that they're already laying plans for what that's going to look like. I have no idea what they'll do, whether they'll buy existing companies, cannabis companies that have an infrastructure and they'll just make it their own,
right?
Or if they'll start from scratch and build their own companies, build their own brands, build their own manufacturing facilities. Not sure what that will look like. Maybe they can retrofit their existing facilities to grow cannabis. I just don't know what it's going to look like, but I'm sure they're going to be there.
Right. Okay. What's the sticking point in the whole U.S. government infrastructure? Where is the bottleneck for getting cannabis to federal deprohibition, in your view?
I just don't think we're there yet. I think if you look at polls and studies in the U.S., most people would vote to legalize cannabis. Most people want cannabis legalized. But you know, when you get to but there are people that don't, right? And there are a lot of people who would argue we don't need another substance to be abused, like alcohol is now and other legal drugs. So I think that it's like things take time. Change doesn't happen overnight. But I do believe that it will change. I can't. People will ask me all the time, when will prohibition end? When will it change? I don't think anybody knows that. You know, I mean, when Congress legalizes cannabis, it'll change.
Yeah.
But I know that there are plenty of states that would like to see it legal, and federally, and there are plenty of senators and politicians that would vote to legalize it tomorrow, but there are some that won't. So I think we're getting there, and I think it will happen, but not yet.
Okay. Matt, we're going to leave it there for now. Thank you very much for joining us today.
Thanks, Jim. Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
There we are. What do you think?
I think, you know, I think the valuation of Khiron is probably not as high as it should be. You know,
I think that would constitute a share price recommendation.
Well, it just seems like it's seen.
I'm just rousing you.
I know, but it seems like compared to a lot of other companies out there, and when you listen to, that lady doctor that was on yesterday, and you listen to some of the people involved here, they look like, they got their act together, but maybe because it's over there, that people aren't.
I think Khiron, I have to disclose that Khiron has been a paid client in the past of Global Financial Network. We have produced video for them, so therefore you could say that I bias.
Okay, well, I don't really.
However, I do honestly think that Khiron is, and I also have RSUs in the company, so I'm also doubly exposed. But I do believe that Khiron is one of the stories that is going to catch fire when people realize the extent of what's going on. So Vicente Fox, former president.
Right, exactly.
I mean, this guy has like hundreds of thousands of Twitter followers. He's got like people all over the world.
Does he have as many as you?
I don't have that many Twitter followers because I don't really tweet much. People tweet on my behalf, but I'm not a tweeter because I'm not a twit.
Are you a twit? Twitter.
No, I know there's another word there that we can't say. Even we can't say that because it's sexist. You know what word I'm talking about?
Jeez.
Got yourself in a little bit of trouble there, right?
Bit of a pickle.
Bit of a pickle. Anyway, so we started our show.
And the anti-pickle.
Anti-pickle. Anti-Polsky or Gorky. And Uncle Kabasa.
Anti-Uncle Kabasa.
Polsky or Gorky raises its ugly head again. So we're going to get t-shirts done with Ed's face on it, and it's going to say, just saying, as per the excellent brain fart by Donnie Greco. And I'm going to get one with my face on it, and it's going to say Polsky or Gorky. Woo! We'll see who sells the most t-shirts, Ed. May the best man win. Thank you for watching today. We're sorry for all the technical difficulties, but it's New Tech's fault. It's not ours. Or it could be that all of our signals are crossed in here and we need to really sort out our frequencies. That's another possibility. But until tomorrow, we'll be back tomorrow. Thank you.